campaign, and it's going to be an enduring problem.
Well, in fact, your paper, the Wall Street Journal, was involved in one of these things, and that involved a course that Carson said he had taken a psychology course at Yale when he was a student there, and that he was given an honesty experiment. All the students were, and he was the only one who passed. The Wall Street Journal found out, went back to the records when he was at Yale in the 60s. There was no such psychology course, and to the best of their ability, there was no such honesty experiment. Question for you, Juan. One, is that fair? Is that vetting or vendetta? And isn't this particularly a problem for Carson because his biography is such a huge part of his campaign?
I think that's right. You know, this reminds me of a lot of rappers, Chris. You know, they hype, they embellish, they exaggerate for the sake of the presentation, the biography in this case. So with the high school students, his classmates, and I think, Kimberly, people do remember what happens in high school very intensely. I think it turns out he's more Urkel than Thug Life. And that's the Ben Carson I know. I know the guy, and I'm just telling you, he's a wonderful guy, but I never thought of him as any kind of thug or attacking people, just doesn't see it. But the key point for me is that he remains an inspirational man. This is a poor black kid from Detroit who becomes a world-renowned neurosurgeon. It's an incredible story. Why he needed to elaborate, okay, so because, as you said, with the biography, his books end up in evangelical bookstores, homeschooling bookstores. That's how he's known to a lot of people, and they love him for that inspirational, bootstraps up, Jesus-touched life, his miracle life. So I would say that the difficulty is the trust factor. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when it comes to asking Americans, which of these candidates do you like most? Who do you trust most? Ben Carson is number one.
Oh, he's off the charts.
And this then potentially starts to hurt him in that regard, that people might have questions whether or not, listening to Kimberly this morning, whether or not it's this conservative evangelical crowd that views him as an icon and says the media is the devil will take it seriously is another question.